Will the regular council meeting of December 5th, 2025, please come to order? It's about 9:06 a.m. Good morning, everyone. Council members, staff, and members of the public. Ms. Clerk, please proceed with roll call.
Chair, proceeding with roll call, Vice Chair Yukile Sugimura.
Good morning, everybody. Looking forward to a productive meeting.
Councilmember Tamara Paulton.
Aloha kakayaka kako.
Councilmember Gabe Johnson.
Good morning, Chair, council members, community members. There's no testifiers here at the Lanai District Office. I'm alone on my side of the office, and I'm here and ready to work. Mahalo, Chair.
Councilmember Keani Rollins Fernandez.
Aloha kakahiaka, kia ora. There are currently no testifiers at the Molokai District Office, and happy to be here in person. Enjoy your hokey pokey.
Councilmember Tom Cook.
Aloha, Chair, members. There's no testifiers in the KA office currently. I'm looking forward to today's meeting. Thank you.
Councilmember Nohelani Uuhajins.
Good morning, Chair. Good morning, everyone.
Councilmember Shane Sinensi.
Excused.
And Council Chair Alice Lee.
And wishing all of you a hokey pokey morning. And turn yourselves around. Okay.
Chair, there are 7 members present, 1 excused, which means that there is a quorum to conduct the business of the council. For the record, I'm the County Clerk, Moana Ludi. Present from my office, our Legislative Division staff, Joyce Murashige, Lauren Saldana, Del Yoshida, and Arthur Suyama. Assisting the council with maintaining order and decorum is Council Ambassador Ryan Martins. Joining the meeting from the Office of Council Services is Director David Rotz and Legislative Attorney Megan Moniz. And from the Department of the Corporation Counsel is Deputy Corporation Counsel Kayla Bro.
Opening remarks will be provided by Council Member Tom Cook.
Aloha, good morning, members. Today's title for my opening remarks is Faith, Hope, Gratitude. Today is December 5th, 2025. Christmas is 3 weeks away. My birthday is the day after Christmas. I'll be 71 years on Earth. I haven't been feeling very jolly. The last few months have been very stressful and intense. I feel like I've been in an emotional washing machine with ethics charges, Wailea 670, pending Bill 9, selecting our 9th member. My wife, children, and friends have kept me grounded with love and support. Holding Tasha's hands, shared feelings without stress, without fear, without judgment, deeply inspired me to remain loving and optimistic. This gave me renewed hope and a deep sense of peace and love. Last week, I met with Kenji Yui from TJ Management regarding their desire to work with Maui County, the County of Maui, regarding R1 water infrastructure, offering to manage and assist in the payment for infrastructure to supply R1 water to Kapalua Gulf and Kapalua, and free up water for Lahaina. He gave me the book on your desk, Coming Together for Maui, a short story of Mr. Tagashi Yanani, president of TY Management, owner of Kapalua Gulf, response to the devastating Lahaina fire. His willingness and ability to inspire the governor, mayor, architects, planners, and all the people it takes to orchestrate a large endeavor by providing food, clothing, land, and the resources to build 50 temporary homes, Kapalua Village, that was completed in just 6 months, I found deeply inspiring. I'm ending 25 with hope and inspiration, the sincere, solid, unwavering love by Tasha Kama, who is my friend and my mentor. The actions of a man who I've never met, whose leadership and actions for the Lahaina community after the fire reinforces my belief in the goodness of people. 2 people from very different lives, one of modest means, one of great wealth, both committed to Maui with love and generosity. Everything is possible if you're determined to do it. Today, I'm grateful. And I wish only good vibes, good cheer, and good health to all of you, my colleagues. Thank you for the opportunity to share.
Thank you. That's very beautiful. Now, members, the Pledge of Allegiance. Before we proceed with today's agenda, may I please request that everyone keep their microphones muted unless it's your time to speak. As a reminder, testimony must pertain to items on the meeting agenda. When testifying, please direct your remarks to the council and not to any individual council member or member of the public. Each testifier will be allowed to speak for up to 3 minutes on each item. For individuals wishing to testify on Teams, please click the raise your hand button to be added to the testifier log. If you are calling in, please follow the phone prompts to be added to the log. If you wish to testify anonymously, please sign in as anonymous and you will be given a testifier number. Decorum shall be maintained at all times. Any person who behaves in a manner that disrupts, disturbs, or impedes the orderly conduct of any council can, at the discretion of the presiding officer or a majority of present council members, be ejected or banned from council meetings, or if participating remotely, muted or dropped from the meeting. Examples of disruptive behavior include, but are not limited to, heckling, shouting, use of profanity, threatening or slanderous remarks made to any member of the council, staff, or general public. All meeting attendees, whether online or in person, are expected to wear clothing which should not display profanity, obscenity, or any message that could be considered discriminatory, harassing, or inappropriate for these proceedings. Ms. Clerk, please proceed.
Chair, the first item on our agenda is the ceremonial resolution.
Okay, due to an accident that occurred a couple of days ago, we're going to postpone that resolution. Any objections, members? Okay, Ms. Clerk.
Chair will proceed with presentation of written or oral testimony. At this time, individuals may testify on any item listed on today's agenda. The first person to testify is Bobby Calave, testifying on Bill 175, to be followed by Marcy Martin.
Good morning, everyone, the council.
Morning.
I came here to testify to see if you folks could my request that you have on Bill 175 and the street of the road place, Ahi Place. I'm a resident of 26 Ahi Place. I've been there for 19 years, and I just thought I have a concern, as you can read, if it'd be possible that if you guys have a chance to read it and go through it and see our concerns that had petitioners of each ones that live in that street area, and what's the safety issues that was caused on that one blind turn coming in, entering in Ahi, about 50 feet coming in. There's a slight corner where we cannot see as we get back past that. And then there's an wide open, we can see a straightforward path. So just to give you one example, I just want to make it short. I take my grandchildren to school up country, and going out, I almost got rammed over with the county rubbish truck. And it's not the county rubbish truck, it's just the ability of us can't fit the bigger vehicle compared to a smaller vehicle, which I had a Toyota truck. So that's the issues, and a lot of the residents mentioned that to me too, if I could say that too. And I said, well, that's all I could say. So that's be the end of my testimony, but if you have any questions for me.
Members, any clarifying questions? Member Paulton and then Member Vice Chair Sugimura.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Mr. Calave, for your testimony. I was wondering, the people that are parking in this area that has the blind turn, is it they live in the neighborhood as well, or is it from folks outside of the neighborhood?
Yes, there's a few cars park on the, just entering on the right side on the grass shoulder area. There's 3 cars normally there, but they live on the other streets that come in before you go into Ahi Place. But then right by the corner, the danger part, a fellow lives on 15 Ahi Place. You can see on your map, he has a construction business, I assume. So he has a big white, sometimes he has this big white dump trailer with his flatbed truck, and then he leaves another trailer on the opposite side where he lives on that side, away from that current. So that's the one been causing a lot of, disturbance and concern of our safety going in and out.
And have you spoken to him about the concerns, like if he could park it at his business?
Yeah, I didn't want to get any more problem with that man who has all that thing. He threatened me 2 times already, so I don't want to make any trouble. So this whole thing is not about retaliation. It's just about the safety concern that I heard it from other neighbors, and I felt I almost got into a collision with the rubbish dump. And that's all I was concerned with, no retaliation. It's just to make safe.
Thank you. Thank you for explaining the situation.
That's it.
Vice Chair?
Thank you very much, Bobby, for being here. Members, you have the petition that he secured from the neighbors to agree. So there's a petition and photos of what he's talking about. So please review that to supplement your testimony and the bill. Thanks for working hard on this.
Okay, thank you.
Rollins Fernandez?
Mahalo, Chair. Aloha, Mr. Kalave. Mahalo for your testimony, and I'm so sorry about this issue. So it's Ahi Place extended 175 feet on the right side of the street, and it's Bill 175. Just numbers, they match, coincidentally. So that's going to Kumano Drive.
Yeah, coming off
Okay,
of
because
Kumano, right?
I pulled it up on GPS,
Yes.
just so I can get a better understanding.
Yeah.
So I see the bill, and I see the prohibition. So sometimes I see what's more effective than rules and signs are like physical obstructions, so like larger stones. Have you talked to anyone about maybe putting like stones to obstruct parking in that area?
No.
Okay. Okay, maybe we will do that. Okay.
Okay. Mahalo nui.
Mahalo, Mr. Kalame. Mahalo, Chair.
Okay. Thank you, everyone.
Okay, thank you.
Chair, the next testifier is Marcy Martin, testifying on CR 2584, to be followed by Leslie Milner.
Good morning. My name is Marcy Martin, and I am the Director of Finance. And I'm here today to testify in favor of Bill 171. I appreciate all of you working with the administration on continuing tax relief for properties negatively impacted by the August 2023 wildfires. So the Department of Finance is testifying in favor of Bill 171 as is, with no further amendments. And to support the bill as is, the department will be providing public outreach should this important bill pass. And again, thank you for supporting our community that was negatively impacted.
Okay. Clarifying questions, Member Paulton?
Thank you, Chair. I have an amendment on that. Is it okay for our staff to give it to her to see if she's okay with the amendment?
Sure.
Right now?
Yeah, but for now, it's just on on her testimony, and we can bring her back. Can we bring you back when the item comes up?
Yes, so I'll be monitoring online.
Okay.
Okay, appreciate it. But again, I would like the bill to be passed as is.
As is,
Yeah.
clean.
Yes.
All right, any more clarifying questions? Maybe you can get the ASF from,
Thank you.
yeah, thank you. All right, next testifier.
Chair, the next testifier is Budget Director Leslie Milner testifying on bills 179 and 180.
And if they,
Good morning, Chair.
Morning.
Good morning, council members. Bill 179 is amending Appendix A, Part 1 of the fiscal year 2026 budget to add additional funding for the Department of Police for $495,000. They've received additional funding this year from the Transportation Highway Safety Grants, so we want to make sure we acknowledge it in the budget so they can spend it. And Bill 180 is for the South Maui Economic Development, Environmental, and Cultural Programs. It's a new condition for Lokahi Pacific for Kulani Haku'i High School activities in the amount of $15,000, and I will let Councilmember Cook speak to that further when you get to the item. Thank you, Chair.
Are you going to be available when these items come up?
Yes, Chair, I'll be monitoring online.
Okay, great, thank you. Clarifying questions, Vice Chair?
So just want to clarify that you support passing Bill 179 on first reading?
Yes, thank you,
Okay.
Chair and Vice Chair.
Thank you.
All right, no other questions, it seems. Thank you.
Chair, the next testifier is Jonathan Helton. And Mr. Helton, if you could please let us know which item you'll be testifying on?
Yes, hopefully everyone can hear me. My name is Jonathan Helton, and I work with the Grass Street Institute of Hawaii. The Grass Street Institute is supporting Bill 171, the property tax waiver for properties that were affected by the Lahaina wildfires. Totally agree with Director Martin. We would support the current draft of the bill, although now that Councilmember Halton has mentioned that she is circulating an amendment, I'd be very interested to learn what that is, because it might make the bill even better. But Cresser does support the current draft of the bill. I think that this would help people get back on their feet who are trying to figure out permits or insurance and just haven't been able to rebuild yet. So happy to answer any questions I can, and thank you all for your time.
Okay, clarifying questions? If not, thank you very much.
Chair, the next testifier is OED Director Jade Rojas Letici. And Ms. Rojas Letici, if you could please let us know what item you'll be testifying on. And she'll be followed by Pastor John Crew.
Hello, Chair.
Hi.
Hello, Chair and members of the council. My name is Jade Rojas Letici, Director of the Office of Economic Development, offering support for CR 25-72, recommending the adoption of Resolution 25-193, City 1, to request designation of the proposed Napili Enterprise Zone for a 20-year period. I'd like to also thank you for passing the redesignation of the Greater Maui Enterprise Zone under Resolution 25-194, City 1 on the November 7th council meeting. This designation has been vetted by review of the Mayor's Advisory Team last month, and we presented detailed information at the December Lahaina community meeting with approximately 200 attendees, many of whom expressed interest and support for tools that help local businesses remain and rebuild in West Maui. There is a sense of urgency as once transmitted, the state has a short window of time to process with pushing this forward to the governor's approval by the April 30th deadline. Moving this forward today ensures we meet critical timelines and do not delay or deter benefits for our businesses. The Napili Enterprise Zone represents a clear commitment to a Kama'aina-driven economy and recovery, as we see this as an opportunity to support the resiliency of West Maui small business community. I respectfully request adoption of Resolution 25-193 City 1 today, so these economic supports can continue to reach our community. Mahalo nui for the opportunity to testify.
Thank you. Clarifying questions, members? Vice Chair?
Thank you very much for your report or your testimony, because it was asked at the last council meeting and the committee meeting for BFED outreach to be done in the West Maui community. So you achieved that. Yes?
Is that a question?
Yeah, you achieved what was requested.
Yes, we feel like we did.
Okay, great.
All right, no more questions. Thank you.
Chair, the next testifier is Pastor John Crew. And Pastor, if you could please let us know what item you'll be testifying on, and he will be followed by McKinley Eads.
Yes, aloha. My name is Pastor John Crew. I'm testifying on resolution number 25-222, and that is the joint use resolution. Our church is located, I'm pastor of Lahaina United Methodist Church, and our church is located on the corner of Front Street and Baker Street. Before I begin, I'd like to share my condolences to the council and to the family and friends of Council Member Tasha Kama. We at Lahaina United Methodist Church are greatly appreciative of her many years of faithful service. So I'm testifying on behalf of the resolution. As I share, I came about a month ago. Councilmember Tamara Paulton had submitted a resolution to change our zoning to P1, and I testified on that. And this is kind of a continuation of that. We are interested in this particular resolution because we have two adjacent lots next to each other that here in Lahaina, and we would like to be able to develop them as a single lot. We have our parsonage and our duplex, and we're building a temporary meeting place for worship services on one of the lots, which is kind of behind the lot where the church is and kind of around the side where also the preschool is there. And so as we're developing, there's fire codes and other things we need to consider to give access so that when we develop, the fire trucks can easily come in and out, and we can also make use of our property. And that would be difficult if the lots were considered separate. We also would like to, there's going to be requirements, I think, to add fire hydrants. We'd like to build, as we build our preschool, we also plan to build a volunteer dormitory for volunteers to help rebuild Lahaina, working in conjunction with the long-term recovery group and our denomination, the United Methodist Committee on Relief, would like to send volunteers out to help people in the rebuild process and also rebuilding the community. So for all of this and all of the plans that we'd like to do with the property is to help out the community. This would greatly simplify the process for us. And I thank you very much for allowing me to testify on behalf of this resolution.
Members, questions? If not, thank you very much.
Chair, the next testifier is McKinley Eads. And if you could please let us know what item you'll be testifying on, to be followed by Tom Crowley.
Aloha, Chair and Council members. I'm here to urge you to pass Bill 171, but also to ask you, please don't forget about Lahaina's commercial property owners. Bill 171 is essential. It recognizes the ongoing hardship and slow recovery after the August 2023 wildfires. The extension of property tax relief is absolutely needed, and I strongly support its passage. But I must emphasize, commercial property owners have faced unique and persistent challenges that threaten the future of Lahaina itself. Not a single commercial property has been rebuilt and occupied since the fire. The path forward is blocked by regulatory delays and uncertainty. For example, the Maui Cultural Resources Commission was supposed to vote on the proposed commercial design guidelines just yesterday, but the meeting was canceled again. In fact, 19 out of the last 28 monthly commission meetings since the fires have been canceled. Without approved guidelines, we cannot move forward with rebuilding. We are ineligible for grants or recovery programs. Unlike residential owners, commercial property owners have not been offered funds or financial assistance from the county or nonprofits. There are no dedicated programs, grants, or free services available to us. Banks are unwilling to refinance or lend on commercial properties when the land is virtually impossible to appraise and the requirements for rebuilding are unclear. Insurance payouts rarely cover the full cost. We must pay for costly sub-consultants and reviews up front. All of this leaves commercial owners carrying the full burden with no safety net and no clear timeline. Lahaina cannot recover without its commercial core. Businesses are the heart of the community. They provide jobs, services, and economic vitality. If commercial property owners continue to be left in limbo, Lahaina's recovery will stall and the town will lose what makes it vibrant and sustainable. We need a way forward. With all the work required and the uncertain requirements we face, I can say with confidence, unless something changes, commercial property owners will likely not have a certificate of occupancy by 2028. The current process is simply not workable, though I commend your passage of Bill 110 and 156. I urge you, please pass Bill 171 to extend this property tax relief. It is desperately needed. But please do not forget about us commercial property owners. Please consider targeted support, streamlined approvals, and a clear path forward for rebuilding the commercial core. Lahaina's future depends on it. Mahalo for your time and consideration.
Thank you. Vice Chair has a clarifying question.
Thank you. Can I have your name again, please? Sorry.
McKinley Eads.
Okay. So just for your information, this is exactly why I developed this bill, because I was hearing from the commercial segment saying we have been forgotten. So thank you.
Thank you.
171. That's what she's testifying on, Bill 171. Thank you, the commercial or tax extension for in a rebuild.
Chair, the last testifier currently signed up is
Who, you have a question? Member Paulton?
Ms. Eads, if you're still on.
Yes.
Hi, Ms. Eads. Thank you for your testimony regarding the number of Cultural Resource Commission meetings that have been canceled. Have you reached out to the administration if they are going to take any actions to address this?
No, so I had emailed them when they canceled their November meeting asking for clarification. They had not gotten back to me. I understand that it is an unpaid position, and I really appreciate all the good work they do. From my understanding, their last meeting was in October, and they had even passed to change the meeting time so they could try to get or reach quorum in more meetings, but they were still unable to. For this month, and it was really sad to see because they had someone come from out of state to hear the presentation and give their own, and they unfortunately had to cancel. It was my understanding they were also planning to vote on visiting Front Street as a group to see what it was or how it is now. But yeah, I haven't heard anything back from them. I've been trying.
Thank you. I'll try as well.
Thank you.
Any more questions? If not, thank you. Ms. Clark?
Chair, the next testifier is Tom Crowley. And Mr. Crowley, if you could please let us know what item you'll be testifying on, and he will be followed by James Langford.
Aloha Council, Tom Crowley testifying on my own behalf on Committee Report 25, 83, 84, and 85, coming from the Real Property Tax Reform Committee. Starting with Mr. Cook's announcements, I can relate very well to how Mr. Cook has been feeling up late. And I think all the council members can. The amount of stress has been off the charts, and I commend all of you for hanging in there. I am as stressed as I can be in this holiday period, and when people call and say, "How are you?" I almost launch into it. I do launch into it, and I shouldn't. I know that, but I feel for you, and I hope that the holiday season brings us all a little less stress. So thank you. The Committee Report 2583 on the circuit breaker. Funny name for a very good program that we support tremendously to make certain that our real property taxes never tax someone out of their home. So I support this measure, although I'm not clear as to what we're changing in this particular thing. We've made a couple changes recently to the circuit breaker to have it apply to different people and to make the requirements different. And I'm not exactly sure what was it that we needed to change here, but I'm always in support of the circuit breaker. And I hope that everyone out there who needs to make use of this program, where they live in their home and their real property taxes exceed 2% of their income, that the taxes would be dialed back to make sure that the taxes don't overburden those folks. And again, anything that we can do to make sure that that program works, I'm in support of. Committee Report 2584 deals with Bill 171, and you just heard support for it from several sources, and you're going to hear support for it from me. I want to thank Kirsten Zabau for clarifying for me that the concerns I raised in my testimony have been or will be addressed. I'm glad that you have the finance director there, because sometimes I look at things in real property tax and it's not clear to me when the council passes these things how they will be administrated, how the the department will take the language that you put forward and turn it into action. So having the director there to clarify that is important and very helpful. One of the things that you did in committee that I very much appreciated was you expanded this bill to everyone who was affected by the fires and not just those in the SMA, which is what the bill started out as. And I think that we still are in a position where we need to do that. And I think that it's been very good policy over the past 2 years. And I support extending it to the next 2 years to extend this tax relief to everyone. However, there was a question in my mind as to when you remove Section F, as to whether someone who does rebuild their house and then moves into their house would then continue to get this tax relief, or whether there's a way for the administration to stop that tax relief after the first year. So I hope that the finance director will clarify that and make sure that that is the case, that someone can get this tax relief for 1 year and not necessarily 2 years. I very much am in support of the previous testifier saying that there are just so many problems in the commercial area, and the last thing they need to worry about at this moment is being overtaxed. So thank you for this bill, and I do support passage of it today, which I think you guys know you have to do today in order for it to apply to next week or to next year's taxes. And then finally, Bill CR 2585, or Committee Report 2585, deals with how properties that are in the trust, if you will, of a community land trust would be taxed. Again, one of those things, I'm honored to serve on the board of Nahalio Maui, and I hope that this can help our folks that are in those homes. But I'm just not sure how it will be administrated. There's details to it that I have some concerns about. Do we need to calculate, we at Nahalio Maui, the exact resale price of the house at every year? That could be laborsome to do. But if there's a way that we can administrate this bill, I'm all for it. And I've spoken to our executive director, who is willing to do whatever's necessary to provide this tax relief to the folks who own these homes that will be kept in affordability for perpetuity. So we do want to support that effort. If we were going to change this bill, and I'm not necessarily asking you to change this bill today, because like the other bills, it needs to pass today in order to apply for next year. But if we were to change this bill, I would simplify it to say that these properties only get taxed on their building value and not the land value. Because essentially in Nahalio Maui, the land trust owns the land, okay? And the land trust is the nonprofit, and the land would be the portion that would not be taxed. So the owners own the building, and they could be taxed on the building. That would be the only recommendation I would make to simplify it. But however it's pushed through, we will do our best to help administrate it as the department wants to. But those details as to how it's going to be administrated, you don't often talk about those in committee. And those details really matter when the rubber hits the road on these kinds of bills. So again, you have access to Ms. Martin today, and she probably can answer the questions best as to how they will administrate both the bills that I'm referencing today. Thank you for your time. If I don't talk to you at the next meeting, and I probably will, happy holidays to everyone, and thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Tom. If you have a chance, could you email us, the highlights of your testimony, because, pardon me? It's online. Okay, because it's online already. Okay, the director can initiate administrative rules in addition to
Right. Yeah.
to implement this ordinance. So it's possible to include your ideas. Yes, Member Rollins Fernandez.
Mahalo, Chair. Aloha, Mr. Crowley. Mahalo for your kind words in the beginning of your testimony. And for Bill 169, were you able to check with your Mahalo for your service on Nahaleo, Maui? So is it not your understanding or the executive director's understanding that this already applies to properties that is held by or managed or lease held by Nahaleo, Maui?
No, at this point, it has not applied to the properties that we have sold. Now, it has applied to property that we own that Nahaleo Maui has not sold to someone yet, that we don't have a resident in. So the properties that Nahaleo Maui owns directly, yes, those are not taxed, okay? But once we have transferred the ownership of those properties to the members of the public, who then own it, again, their resale value of the property is much lower than the current assessed amount. And this would change how the assessed amounts go about.
Okay, because it's my understanding that it already does apply to some of the properties, maybe not all. And so that's part of what initiated the bill. Because for those whose deed restrictions, the price resale is restricted and enforced by the county or a government, then it already applies. But for those that are not enforced by the county, that's why this bill has been I introduced. Okay, and then that way we can have like maybe a list of the properties that are held by Nahaleo Maui or other organizations that have price recap deed restrictions on it, and then we can double check with our division to ensure that those properties are receiving this exemption introduced in Bill 169. And this was something.
Yeah, I can quickly put.
Go ahead.
I can quickly put together a list to send to you right now if you need it of the properties that we hold. I just sampled a few of them and didn't see that this had applied to any of the properties that were in ownership. And I hope, that what you put forward will make it apply in future years. But again, the devil's in the details. Let's make sure that the director is administrating it that way, right?
Mahalo, Mr. Curley, and this discussion, the management of how this would be applied was discussed in the Raptor Committee.
Oh, okay.
Maybe not in the greatest detail that you would like. And if so, let me know, and I'm happy to provide further details in the future.
Thank you.
Mahalo, Mr. Curley. Mahalo, Chair.
And as I said, because we're up against a deadline, changes to the bill may not be, helpful at this time, but what can be done would be administrative rules, which would help clarify how to implement the bill. Okay, next testifier.
Chair, the next testifier is James Langford. And Mr. Langford, if you could please let us know what item you'll be testifying on.
Hi, I'm testifying on the tax, the tax bill, all of them, and how to implement covering the capital that is perceived to be lost by Bill 9. I've placed it on a full working system example on the Facebook page so you folks can read through how it would work. And I think it might work for you all. And I also suggested that perhaps you folks could use my software to mitigate.
Mr. Langford, are you testifying on Bill 9?
No, ma'am.
Which item are you testifying?
The correlations, I said I'm testifying on the tax, the bills today. I'm not really good at recalling the numbers because they change a lot. So 160, I believe, is
160.
One of them that is popping up in my head. Anyway, I wrote it all down for you so I don't waste your time. It's on the Facebook page for you, and it is a very clear financeable solution that mitigates the county's billion-dollar budget needs and can actualize the budget with reducing a lot of drama for you folks and the staff. That's what I'm testifying on via the vehicles of 160, I guess. So, okay, thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Any questions? Okay. All right, thank you.
Groovy. That'll work for you. God bless you.
Thanks.
Holidays are looking good, sis. Ciao.
Thank you.
Chair, there's currently no one else signed up to testify at the beginning of the meeting. I see Mr. Law making his way down.
Aloha kakahiaka, aloha kako, aloha akaku. So I guess I'll testify on the same thing as I heard the previous testifier talking about the Lahaina stuff. And I guess that's the committee reports, the Raptor stuff. But specifically on the Cultural Resources Committee, I've been trying to attend that a couple months now also. And I'm concerned that what's going on there. And also it goes with the Committee on Housing Solutions for Homelessness. They've also canceled due to lack of quorum. I know that's not on the agenda, but it goes with the cultural stuff. And speaking of cultural, the Hawaiian word of the day, I appreciate I'm really thankful for the Olelo translation of the Papakumu Mana'o, the agenda. The Hawaiian word of the day is omole, which means bottle, jug, or jar. And that goes with HALU 25219, Bill 25219. I was going to try to read the whole thing, though, but I feel like you're not, and have a whole lot of patience today, Chair Lee, so. Yeah, hopefully, so my question was, thankful for the hiring the ambassador because he tried to look up the resolution for the donation of the 372 water bottles. And I was curious as to what kind of material the water bottles were made out of. Hopefully they're made out of metal and not plastic. But if it is plastic, it's the kind that's not harmful to our ecosystem and to our brains. And the other one is for going along with that one is the Bill 136, once again, the 60 South Church Street building. I hope that somebody's in there looking at a place for landfill waste diversion in the parking area there. Thank you for your time, and I give the rest of my time to the people of Hawaii.
Thank you. Questions? No questions. All right.
Chair, there's currently no one else signed up to testify, so we'll do last call. If there is anyone who would like to testify at the beginning of the meeting, this is your opportunity. You can raise your hand in Teams or make your way to the podium. The countdown is 3, 2, 1. Chair, there is no one indicating a desire to testify.
Any objections to closing public testimony and accepting written testimony on the beginning of the meeting? Okay, so ordered, Ms. Clerk.
Chair, we're moving on to committee reports. There is currently no one signed up to testify on our committee reports. So I will give last call for anyone who would like to testify in committee reports. This is your opportunity. And the countdown is 3, 2, 1. Chair, there is no one indicating a desire to testify.
Any objections to closing public testimony and accepting written testimony on committee reports? So ordered, Ms. Clerk.
Chair from the Special Committee on Real Property Tax Reform is CR 2583, recommending first reading of Bill 170 CD1 2025 to establish an income-based real property tax credit of up to $10,000 for qualified homeowners whose prior year's real property taxes exceed 1, 2% of household income, or 2, the minimum tax in the annual budget ordinance, subject to eligibility conditions.
Member Rollins-Fernandez.
Mahalo, Chair. I move to adopt the recommendations in CR 25-83.
Moved by Member Rollins-Fernandez, seconded by Member Cook, to approve the recommendations in Committee Report 25-83. Discussion, Member Rollins-Fernandez.
Mahalo, Chair. Bill 170 CD1 2025 amends Maui County Code Section 3.48.810 to create a new income-based circuit breaker real property tax credit of up to $10,000. The credit applies when a qualified homeowner's prior year real property taxes are more than 2% of the household income or above the minimum real property tax in the annual budget ordinance. It is limited to resident homeowners with a home exemption on the property for the last 15 years or prior 20 tax years, so the relief focuses on long-term owner occupants of modest homes. The Department of Finance reported that the existing circuit breaker credits assist about 300 homeowners each year and expects this new income-based category to have a limited effect on revenues. The committee voted 3-0 to recommend passage on first reading. I respectfully ask for the members' support. Mahalo Chair.
Any more discussion? If not, all those in favor of the motion, please raise your hand and say aye. 2, 4, 5 in front, 6, 7, 7 ayes, 1 excused, motion carries. Ms. Clerk?
Chair from the Special Committee on Real Property Tax Reform is CR 2584, recommending first reading of Bill 171, CD1, 2025, to extend temporary real property tax relief for Lahaina properties that remain unoccupiable or under active rebuild after the August 2023 wildfires by 1, extending the real property tax exemption through June 30th, 2028 for properties that meet the required location and status criteria, and 2, continuing the tax year 2024 exemptions through December 31st, 2028 for properties whose improvements were destroyed, damaged, or made inaccessible by the August 2023 wildfires.
Member Rollins Fernandez.
Mahalo Chair. I move to adopt the recommendations in CR 25-84.
Moved by Member Rollins Fernandez, seconded by Vice Chair Sugimura, to approve the recommendations in Committee Report 25-84. Discussion, Member Rollins Fernandez.
Okay. Bill 171, CD1, 2025 amends Maui County Code, Chapter 3.48 to extend the temporary Lahaina wildfire real property tax exemption from June 30, 2026 to June 30, 2028 for properties that meet the location and status criteria and remain unoccupied or under active rebuild after the August 2023 wildfires. Relief is limited to Lahaina parcels within the county wildfire re-entry zones that were destroyed, damaged, or made inaccessible by the August 2023 fires and that are still unoccupiable or under active rebuild. It also continues the tax year 2024 exemptions through December 31st, 2028 for eligible parcels. The committee voted 3-0 to recommend passage on first reading. And then we did have Finance Director Martin testify on this bill, requesting that it remain unamended. And then one of our committee resource folks, Mr. Crowley, also provide testimony. And then we just received ASF from Member Paulton to amend it. So I guess we'll have some discussion and then we can confirm that Director Martin is online.
Ms. Clerk, can you check?
She is on, Chair.
Okay. Would you like to make your motion? Or you want to hear from her first?
My motion was that if the property was sold after the fire, that people would know what they were getting into, but my sources have been telling me there is a lot of title cleanup rather than the sale saying like deed or warranty deed is when it actually like gets sold to someone like outside of the family or whatever. And I'm not sure, I guess the question would be for Corporation Counsel, if that could be specified, if it's like title cleanup, if it can continue on versus if like, you know, the exchange has deed or warranty deed, then the exemption doesn't continue if that's a possibility.
Mr. Rowe?
I'm sorry, can you repeat the question? I had a little trouble understanding.
Yeah, my intention was not to give the exemption for someone like, you know, from outside of Maui or Lahaina that purchases property because of people's hardships, because they know what they're getting into. But right now, a lot of title cleanup is having to be taking place, so it's not really exchanging hands. Is there a way to specify that, you know, if it's title cleanup where there's not like a warranty deed or a deed in the sale, that then it would not be exempt from the property taxes. But if it's simply like families cleaning up their title, which hadn't been done, like when people pass away or whatever the case may be, that they can continue to receive the exemption because they're in the process of cleaning up their titles.
Mr. Rowe?
So the process of cleaning up the title is usually done by court order rather than sale. So I don't think that this would necessarily apply because you bring when you're quieting title, you bring a court action. So there really wouldn't be a financial transaction involved. So I'm not sure that that would be applicable.
Oh, maybe Miss Martin can explain the cases, because even the land trust is seeing cases where title cleanup transfers like it to like one cousin to clean it up or things like that. So maybe Miss Martin can better explain than me what is going on.
Okay.
Ms. Martin, did you hear the question?
Yes, thank you, Chair. And I understand what Member Paulton is suggesting as far as not giving the tax relief to new owners. And I think we should move in that direction over time. I would ask maybe for this year, we leave it as is and we monitor. Just, you know, when all the areas are opened up and the permitting is going on and down in the commercial areas, I think at that point in time, we should move towards what Member Paulton is suggesting. But I think for this year, you know, just letting people know that some properties are rolling onto the assessment list and will be taxable, and giving them an opportunity, like she said, to get ownership in line with ability to rebuild. And then once that's maybe they've had time to clear that up, then we would move into restricting it to new owners. But, you know, just for now, I feel that as is probably the easiest to administer and probably the easiest to understand for the public. Thank you.
Ms. Paulton?
Yeah, I won't make the motion then, and I would like to request quarterly updates on how it's going.
Could you provide that, Ms. Martin? Updates?
Yes, we could. Thank you. Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Great. Any further discussion on the main motion? Yes, Vice Chair Sugimura?
So I just wanted to reply to the testifier, Ms. Eads, that the real reason that my office came up with this Bill 171 was because we were hearing from the commercial side saying that nothing's happening. Nobody's talking to us. And there's this huge liability out there. So thank you, members, for supporting this bill. I hope it passes. Appreciate the administration's support to pass this bill as is. And we can look into other things as it deems further as we get closer to some action. But on the commercial side, nothing's happening or very little. Thank you.
Okay. Any more discussion? If not, all those in favor of the motion, please raise your hand and say aye.
Aye.
Okay, that's 7 ayes, 1 excused, motion carries. Ms. Clark?
Chair from the Special Committee on Real Property Tax Reform is CR 2585, recommending first reading of Bill 169 CD1 2025 to preserve attainable housing by 1, allowing the Director of Finance to consider shared equity deed restrictions when assessing real property, and 2, setting clear standards to ensure similar properties receive fair treatment.
Member Rollins Fernandez.
Madam Chair, I move to adopt the recommendations in CR 25-85.
Second.
Moved by Member Rollins Fernandez, seconded by Vice Chair Sugimura, to approve the recommendations in Committee Report 2585. Discussion. Member Rollins Fernandez.
Madam Chair, Bill 169 CD1 adds a new section to Maui County Code Chapter 3.48 to set valuations for shared equity deeds and ground lease restricted homes that a qualified entity administers. A qualified entity that keeps resale restricted owner-occupied homes may petition the Director of Finance to base assessments on the resale restricted price in the shared equity deed or ground lease, so taxes reflect the owner's restricted equity instead of full market value. This change aligns the tax treatment of shared equity homes that the county and qualified entities administer and gives owners fair, predictable valuations that help preserve long-term attainable housing. The committee voted 4-0 to recommend passage on first reading. And as I shared with Mr. Crowley earlier, that this is something that the division already does with the resale restricted deed homes that is enforced, which deed restrictions are enforced by the county. But this creates an opportunity for the same valuation to those that are not, to properties that are not, whose deed restrictions are not enforced by the county. Hope that's clear.
Okay, and then what about his concern about the value, the assessment being on the building rather than the land? Does this address, it doesn't, right?
You can ask Ms. Martin, there, I see Director Martin still on.
Ms. Martin, did you hear Mr. Crowley's testimony?
Yes, I did, Chair. And the way that this ordinance is written is adequate for the Real Property Assessment Division to assess these properties. As Councilmember Rawlings said, it's to bring, parity between all the properties that are in this program. And so the division will use acceptable assessment methodologies to assess these properties. And generally, our code provides for the assessment of the property as a whole, as opposed to separate assessments for land and buildings. So we are satisfied that this ordinance will provide us with the guidance to implement the program. Thank you.
Okay, any more discussion, members? If not, all those in favor of the motion, raise your hand, say aye. 7 ayes, 1 excused, motion carries.
Mahalo, Director.
Okay, Ms. Clerk.
Chair from the Water and Infrastructure Committee is CR 2586, recommending first reading of Bill 160 CD1 2025 to authorize the mayor to enter into an intergovernmental agreement with various governmental entities on Oahu, Kauai, and Hawaii Islands for the Maui Freshwater Initiative.
Member Cook.
Chair, I move to adopt the recommendations of Committee Report 25-86.
Moved by Member Cook, seconded by Vice Chair Sugimura to approve the recommendations in Committee Report 25-86. Discussion, Member Cook.
Thank you, Chair. Your Water and Infrastructure Committee met on November 17th, 2025 to discuss Bill 160. The Maui Freshwater Initiative, established in 2013, strengthens Hawaii's long-term water security by coordinating management of freshwater, stormwater, wastewater, and recycled water across the state and county agencies. It also builds on the proven One Water practices like conservation, stormwater capture, watershed restoration to ensure a sustainable and reliable freshwater supply for all of Hawaii. Your committee voted 7-0 to recommend passage of Bill 160 CD1 2025 on first reading with technical and non-substantive revisions for clarity. I respectfully ask for the members' support of my motion.
Any more discussion? If not, all those in favor of the motion, please raise your hand, say aye. Raise your hand and say aye. 7 ayes, 1 excused, motion carries. Ms. Clerk.
Chair, we're now into resolutions. There's currently no one signed up to testify, but as a result, this will be last call. If there is anyone interested in testifying on resolutions, this is your opportunity. Chair, the countdown is 3, 2, One, there's no one indicating a desire to testify.
Members, any objections to closing public testimony and accepting written testimony on resolutions? So ordered, Ms. Clerk.
Chair, before you is Resolution 25-219, authorizing acceptance of a donation of 372 water bottles from 100% Kama'aina LLC to help with recovery from the August 2023 Maui wildfires under Section 3.56.030 Maui County Code.
Member Paulton. Member Paulton.
Thank you. I move to adopt Resolution 25-219.
Moved by Member Paulton, seconded by Member Hodgins to adopt Resolution 25-219. Discussion, Member Paulton.
Thank you, Chair. I'd like to move to amend Resolution 25-219 by striking 372 in the resolution's title and inserting 363 in its place, and suspend Rule 19 of the Rules of the Council to allow for final action today.
Moved by Member Paulton, seconded by Member Rollins Fernandez. And I'm sure you heard all of her motion, which changes the number and what is the rule did you mention? 19. Okay. Discussion, Member Paulton.
Thank you, Chair. This corrects the number of water bottles being donated. The Director of Finance and Corp Counsel did confirm that 363 is the correct amount. No invoice was attached to the resolution, so I'm not sure the full value of the water bottles, but I appreciate the donation, and I ask for the members' support of my motion. Thank you.
Okay, I have a question. Normally, are these plastic bottles or glass bottles or something? Because normally we don't need to approve anything $750 or less.
Director Martin is online, and she was ready to answer that question for you.
Director Martin?
Thank you, Chair. The water bottles are quite large, and they're metal, and they have the county logo on it. So I was, I'm not sure the value, but I was assuming it was greater than, not much greater, but greater than the threshold.
Yeah, $750. All right. Okay, any more discussion? All those in favor of the amendment, raise your hand, say aye. 7 ayes, 0 noes. Motion carries. Now, back to the main motion as amended. Any more discussion? If not,
thank you to the donors.
Okay. And all those in favor of the main motion as amended, raise your hand, say aye. 7 ayes, 0 noes. Motion carries. 1 excused. Member Sinanci. Ms. Clerk.
Chair, before you is Resolution 25-220, approving proposals for inclusion in the 2026 Hawaii State Association of Counties legislative package.
Member Paulton.
I move to adopt Resolution 25-220.
Second.
Moved by Member Paulton, seconded by Member Rollins Fernandez to adopt Resolution 25-220. Discussion, Member Paulton.
Thank you, Chair. All proposals and priorities need to be approved by all 4 counties to be included in the 2026 HSAC legislative package, which will be presented to the state legislature during the 2026 regular session. All other counties have adopted this package via resolution. I did ask our staff to distribute a printed copy of the culmination of proposals in case you needed it. With all of what has been going on recently, we neglected to get it on last council's agenda, and so we are the last county to approve the packet, and all other counties have since approved the packet.
When's the deadline to submit?
Today.
Today. All right, any discussion? If not, all those in favor of the motion, please raise your hand, say aye.
Aye.
Member Johnson, okay. 7 ayes, 0 noes, 1 excused, motion carries. Excuse Member Sinensi. Ms. Clerk?
Chair, before you is Resolution 25-222, referring to the Lanai, Maui, and Molokai Planning Commission's a proposed bill to amend Title 19 Maui County Code to establish a new chapter on joint use development.
Member Cook?
Chair, I move to adopt Resolution 25-222.
Moved by Member Cook, seconded by Vice Chair Sugimura to adopt Resolution 25-222. Discussion, Member Cook.
Thank you, Chair. Resolution 25-222 refers to a proposed bill to amend Title 19 Maui County Code to establish a new chapter on joint use development to the Lanai, Maui, and Molokai Planning Commissions. The proposed bill would allow 2 adjoining lots to be developed as a single lot, which can improve efficiency in development and allow for shared use of infrastructure. This concept is being utilized by the City and County of Honolulu and is in our own code for the Wailuku redevelopment area. The proposed bill will significantly assist with the rebuilding of Lahaina. This concept will provide property owners with the ability to collaborate and share in the tremendous costs of rebuild. I respectfully ask for the members' support of my motion.
Member Paulton?
Thank you. I just was checking, is this the same legislation that the Office of Recovery was working on and we're just running it through the council so there's a deadline, or is it different from the legislation that the Office of Recovery was working on? Because like Pastor Cruz said, they have 2 adjoining lots and they had a 1 water meter to serve the 2 adjoining lots. And I guess when the water department found out, they were like, oh my goodness, illegal. And so they were trying to fix it. So is this the same one that they were working on, or is it a separate one that you're working on?
I know that this is basically what they've been working on. I don't know if the legislation is exactly the same. The intentions, I can briefly describe some of the things that it's intended for.
Oh, no, I just was wondering if there's 2 similar bills floating around, like one from you and one from the administration.
I couldn't answer that.
Okay.
My office probably can.
Okay. All right, well, I guess, faster the better, but I thought if they were working on it, they would just put it to the planning commissions themselves, but maybe if we do it this way, they do have a deadline.
This, we have spoke to the planning department, and it's really important I would just say it's really important that we pass this and move it along. And if there's any overlap with the administration, I'm sure it'll work out. But this will significantly assist many of the Front Street properties in general.
Yeah, but it is countywide.
Yes.
Yep. So if the administration has one, they can just hop on board.
Okay. All those in favor of the motion, raise your hand, say aye.
Aye.
7 ayes, 0 noes, 1 excused. Sinensi, a motion carries. Ms. Clerk?
Chair, moving on to ordinances. There is currently no one signed up to testify. If there is someone, this is last call. This is your opportunity. And the countdown is 3, 2, 1. Chair, there's no one indicating a desire to testify.
Members, are there any objections to closing public testimony and accepting written testimony on ordinances? So ordered, Ms. Clerk.
Chair, before you is Bill 175, 2025, a bill for an ordinance amending Section 10.48.040 Maui County Code to prohibit parking on a portion of Ahe Ahe Place, Pukalani, Hawaii.
Vice Chair Sugimura.
I move to pass Bill 175, 2025 on first reading.
Second.
Moved by Vice Chair Sugimura, seconded by Member Cook to pass Bill 175, 2025 on first reading. Discussion, Vice Chair Sugimura.
Thank you, members. Bill 175, 2025 amends Maui County Code Section 10.48.040 to prohibit parking on the west side of Ahea Ahe Place in Pukalani from its intersection with Kumano Drive for a distance of 175 feet. This no parking zone is intended to improve visibility and access on this neighborhood street and to support roadway safety for both residents and drivers. I also want to note that most of the residents in the neighborhood signed a petition requesting this change, which you got a copy of. And we also got a photo also sent to the members about the concern. I respectfully ask for the members' support of my motion. Thank you, Chair.
Any more discussion? Member Rollins Fernandez, then Member Paulton.
Mahalo Chair. I support this motion. I never knew this existed in our code. It has a very long list of where you're allowed to and not, well, yes, where you're not allowed to park. And I thought it was part of the rule that you're not supposed to park X amount of feet from any intersection. And where this is like right on the intersection. So, I mean, I support this, but also, you know, I think what's more effective is putting a physical obstruction to prevent the parking, because putting it in the rule isn't necessarily going to stop the people from continuing to park there. Mahalo Chair.
Vice Chair Sugimura, you may want to talk to Public Works about putting no parking signs.
Oh,
so it's impossible to park
Put some
there.
stones over there.
Well, that's what they're going to do, but yeah, I'll ask to see about obstructions.
Yeah.
I've seen that happen
Okay.
too.
Member Paulton?
Well, because the sign might obstruct their view too. So just put a few stones and then.
Well, stones, whatever, balloons, whatever, I don't care, something.
Balloon.
Okay, thank you.
Member Paulton?
Thank you. My comments were along the same line that about talking to Public Works maybe before second reading if this is, because my assumption is Public Works is the ones that's going to be installing whatever it is that they install, and being that we're not traffic experts or anything like that, like maybe just leave it in their hands to do what they think is the right thing. I mean, my neighborhood has no parking signs all over the place. It doesn't stop nothing. Like I live in a cul-de-sac with all sorts of cars, like parking by the fire hydrant, by the no parking sign, by the, so I mean, that was just my comment before second reading. Maybe hui up with Public Works and see if that's what they recommend, or recommend something else, unless you already have talked to them.
Vice Chair Sugimura?
So Public Works wouldn't just put up a sign, they would need this ordinance to
Okay.
put up the no parking. But I'll talk to them about the other ideas.
Yeah, that was my gist of my thing, is like if that's what they recommend is what will solve the issue, or if they have other recommendations as the experts in their field.
Thank you.
All right. Member Cook.
Thank you, Chair. I'm glad this came up. We have, I'm supportive of this. I think it's a unique opportunity for a neighborhood to sort of identify a challenge in their neighborhood and underline it. We do have a really lot of restrictive parking laws, and they're really difficult to enact, parking signs, et cetera. In my neighborhood, the road is just not littered, but lined with our cars overflow from the different houses, and it's basically illegal to park overnight, but everybody does it, they have to. I'm just saying MPD has a big challenge enforcing some of the laws, and I think that this is of assistance to clarify in a certain neighborhood where there's a public safety hazard. So I think this is a good interpretation of the existing no parking laws. Thank you.
Okay. I think this is more a problem in the older neighborhoods, because the newer ones, like newer meaning 25 years old and up to today, we have association, laws, and we get fined if you park where you're not supposed to park or park overnight. All right, so you can take care of this, right?
Yeah.
All those in favor of the motion, raise your hand, say aye. 7 ayes, 1 excused, Member Sinensi. Motion carries. Ms. Clerk?
Chair, before you is Bill 179, 2025, a bill for an ordinance amending the fiscal year 2026 budget, Appendix A, Part 1, Department of Police, Department of Transportation, Highway Safety Grants, increase appropriation by $495,000.
Vice Chair Sugimura?
Thank you, Chair. I move to pass Bill 179, 2025 on first reading.
Moved by Vice Chair Sugimura, seconded by Member Hodgins, to pass Bill 179, 2025 on first reading. Discussion, Vice Chair Sugimura.
Members, Bill 179, 2025 amends the fiscal year 25 budget, Appendix A, Part 1, to increase the Department of Police, Department of Transportation, Highway Safety Grants appropriation by $495,000 to $2 million. The State Department of Transportation awarded additional highway safety grant funds for traffic safety programs, training, and equipment. I respectfully ask for the members' support of my motion.
Any more discussion? If not, all those in favor of the motion, please raise your hand. Say aye.
Aye.
7 ayes, 0 noes, 1 excused. Member Sinanci, motion carries. Ms. Clerk.
Chair, before you is Bill 180, 2025, a bill for an ordinance amending the fiscal year 2026 budget, Office of the Mayor Economic Development Program Grants and Disbursements for Business Development and Technology, South Maui Economic Development, Environmental and Cultural Programs, new conditional language for Lokahi Pacific for Kulani Hako'i High School, activities in the amount of $15,000.
Member Cook.
Chair, I move to pass Bill 180, 2025 on first reading.
Second.
Moved by Member Cook, seconded by Vice Chair Sugimura, to pass Bill 180, 2025 on first reading. Discussion, Member Cook.
Thank you, Chair. Bill 180's purpose is to amend the fiscal year 2026 budget and to add conditional language in the amount of $15,000 for Lokahi Pacific to support Kalaniakoi's high school activities under the Economic Development Program. This amendment was submitted at my request to support local educational and cultural initiatives in South Maui and will assist the students of Kalaniakoi High School to participate in activities that promote cultural enrichment, community engagement, and educational opportunities. I respectfully ask for the members' support of my motion.
Okay. Any more discussion? If not, all those in favor of the motion, please raise your hand. Say aye.
Aye.
7 ayes, 0 noes, 1 excused. Member Sinanci, motion carries. Ms. Clerk.
Chair, under ordinances for second and final reading, before you is Bill 136, CD1, 2025, a bill for an ordinance amending the fiscal year 2026 budget, increasing estimated revenues bond lapsed bond by $1.1 million, capital improvement projects, Department of Management, Wailuku Kahului Community Plan Area, and Appendix C, Department of Management, Wailuku Kahului Community Plan Area, new appropriation for 60 South Church Street building renovations of $1.1 million.
Vice Chair Sugimura.
Thank you. If there are no objections, may I please request the clerk to also call up Bill 137 CD1, 150 CD1, 151 CD, Bill 151, 2025, and Bill 152, 2025.
Any objections, members?
You can just do them all.
172 also?
Yeah, just do them all. They all be fed.
All right.
I think like unanimously supported on first reading, so just make one motion.
Ms. Clerk.
Chair, before you are bills 137 CD1, 2025, a bill for an ordinance amending ordinance 5818, 2025, relating to the issuance of general obligation bonds of the County of Maui, issuance, sale, and delivery of said bonds, Department of Management. Bill 150 CD1, 2025, a bill for an ordinance amending the fiscal year 2026 budget, increasing estimated revenues, other intergovernmental by $64,469,830, capital improvement projects, Department of Water Supply, countywide, and Appendix C, Department of Water Supply, countywide, new appropriation for $64,469,830 for countywide wildfire disaster relief products. Bill 151, 2025, a bill for an ordinance authorizing the mayor of the County of Maui to enter into an intergovernmental agreement for a loan from the state of Hawaii's Drinking Water State Revolving Fund for countywide wildfire disaster relief projects, fiscal year 2026 budget ordinance. Bill 152, 2025, a bill for an ordinance amending the fiscal year 2026 budget, Appendix A, Part 1, Department of Housing Community Development Block Grant CDBG program, county-owned senior affordable rental housing project, Nahale Kupuna operations, increase appropriations by $51,151. And Bill 172, 2025, a bill for an ordinance amending the fiscal year 2026 budget, Office of the Mayor, Economic Development Program, Molokai Economic Development, Environmental and Cultural Programs, deleting Kahale Ho'aka LLC and inserting Hui o Kuapa.
Keep going.
Bill 173, 2025, a bill for an ordinance amending the fiscal year 2026 budget, Office of the Mayor, Economic Development Program, updating the conditional language for the Makwa Rodeo Parade and Makwa Halloween event to Makwa Rodeo Parade and Makwa Holiday 2025 Light the Town event. Bill 174, 2025, a bill for an ordinance amending the fiscal year 2026 budget, Office of the Mayor, Economic Development Program, Economic Diversification and Development Initiative, updating the conditional language for the Rising from the Ashes LLC for film production to Mana Maoli Lahaina Rising for film production.
Vice Chair Sugimura.
I have no more comments.
Okay. Member Paulton.
I did have more discussion on Lahaina Rising. Incidentally, we did have a meeting to start further planning our Western Interstate Region Conference coming up fast in May. And we learned that the current NACO president, J.D. Clark's priority, like former President Gore's priority was disaster reform. J.D. Clark's priority is county storytelling. And so we decided we're going to try and ask the producers of Lahaina Rising to have a special screening as our county storytelling for the Western Interstate region. So if you guys register for the WIR, which registration just opened and is going gangbusters, you may be able to watch the premiere in Lahaina.
Oh, terrific.
Chair, if I could, we got so carried away and just zipping on through these that we do not have a motion and a second on the floor yet.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, so it's been moved by Vice Chair Sugimura, seconded by Member Hodgins to pass bills. Is it starting with 137, 150, 151?
All of them.
152, 172, 173, and 174 on second and final reading.
And 136.
Yeah, 136 also.
Oh, did I miss that?
Yes.
Other page.
Oh, the other page,
Yeah.
okay. On the other page.
Yeah.
All right, any more discussion on any of these?
Fantastic.
Okay, all those in favor of the motion, raise your hand, say aye.
Aye.
7 ayes, 0 noes, 1 excused. Member Sinensi, motion carries. Ms. Clerk?
Yay.
Chair, we're now in unfinished business. There is no one signed up to testify, but we will give last call. If there is anyone interested in testifying on the unfinished business agenda item, this is your opportunity. This is final call. Chair, the countdown is 3, 2, 1. There's no one indicating a desire to testify.
Okay, let's see. Vice Chair Sugimura.
Thank you. I think we had Jade Rojas Latisi testify earlier in the meeting. So that
Excuse me 1 second. Do I have to close
I have
public
to.
testimony?
I have to adopt, sorry.
No, okay, just wanted to make sure. We want to have this all over again.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, all right. Any objections to closing public testimony on unfinished business?
No.
Okay, so ordered. Vice Chair Sugimura.
Thank you. I move to adopt the recommendations in CR 2572 for Resolution 25193, which is the Napili Enterprise Zone resolution. I need a second.
Second. So this is to adopt the resolutions in Committee Report 25-72.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's moved and by Vice Chair Sugimura, seconded by who? Member Cook.
Member Paulton.
Okay, to adopt the resolutions in Committee Report 2572, Resolutions 25-193, and Resolution 25-194. Discussion.
So at the last council meeting, we passed that resolution and we split it because there was still questions on that Napili one. So today we're taking
Okay, we
up-
passed one of these.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we passed the one for all of Maui, and this one is
25-194.
194.
Okay.
So we're
CD1.
specifically talking about Resolution 25-193 CD1.
Okay.
Yeah, and maybe Member Paulton wants to speak on it because she had the concerns about what kind of education and communication was done on this before it was discussed and passed by the council.
Member Paulton.
Yes, I would like to extend my extreme gratitude to Director Rojas Letisi for making the journey out to West Maui and presenting to our community I do believe she received positive feedback, even to the point that one of our former testifiers who had negative things to say about it was brought around to support it. So good job, Director Rojas Letici, and she did a much better job at presenting it than I did or could have. Thank you.
Any more discussion? Member Rollins Fernandez.
Madam Chair, I guess I have a procedural question. The motion on the floor is to adopt the recommendations of the CR, but we're not taking action on Resolution 25-194 because we already adopted that one.
Yes.
So the motion would not be to recommend, to adopt the recommendations, because we can't, or are we like adopting Resolution 25-194 again?
No, she clarified that we did that already.
Right, so, but the motion is still to adopt the recommendations, and the recommendation is to adopt both resolutions, so that's not the correct motion.
So shall we split it?
No,
No, it's
we
already done. We
did
already
it,
took
so
action on it.
The action is to adopt Resolution 25-193, CD1.
I think the action is to approve the CR and recommend adoption of Resolution 25-193. Like, we can, there was a question at the last council meeting about what to do with the CR, because it was just gonna.
Okay, we'll do that. Can you just,
Sure, I'll withdraw that motion then.
make the motion to adopt the,
Oh, our parliamentarian has a recommendation for us.
Yes. After consulting with our staff, what happens when we report this out is we would say that this committee report was adopted and note in it that the second part of it, Resolution 25-194 CD1 was previously adopted, but it would be adopted as one. So we would adopt as the motion was made by Vice Chair today for purposes of reporting.
Very good.
It seems odd, I know.
Thank you.
But we're not adopting Resolution 25-194 today.
We're adopting the committee report that encompasses both.
Okay, then I think the motion should say that.
okay, that's fine, because we're not going to spend all day on this.
Okay.
I will spend
Redo your
all day
motion.
on this.
Yeah, you can, but not us. Can you revise your motion to recommend that CR 25-72 be approved?
Approved, yes.
And who seconded?
Member Cook. Well, I had down both. I had Member Paulton and Member Cook.
Member Cook? Member Cook, did you second it?
Yeah, I seconded it, and I
Okay.
concur with the
Okay, so
parliamentary shuffle.
the new motion is to approve Committee Report 25-72. Yeah?
And adopt Resolution 25-193.
And adopt Resolution 25-193. Okay, we're clear on that. It's moved by Vice Chair Sugimura, seconded by Member Cook. Any more discussion? If not, all those in favor of the motion, raise your hand, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, 7 ayes, 0 noes, 1 excused. Member Sinensi, motion carries. Thank you, everybody. Have a great weekend, and
Is it time?
we'll see you when we see you.